Welcome to the Modern Direct Seller Podcast, where we talk about strategy, training, and systems to help you reach big goals and find success in direct sales. I'm your host, Becky Launder, a San Diego mama, marketing junkie, and sales strategist that has built several six-figure businesses and is on a mission to share the new modern ways to rock your biz. If you're a go-getter direct seller and looking for actionable strategies, you are in the right place. This is for you. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am thrilled to have a very special guest here today. Welcome to Monica Wihongi with Close to My Heart. How are you?
I am fabulous. I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I'm just looking forward to this discussion.
Me too. I've been looking forward to this all week. I want to hear everything, but let's start with the beginning, right? So tell us a little bit about who you are. You're the president at Close to My Heart. And before we clicked live, you were just saying that you've just finished a big tour of Australia and New Zealand and are getting back out there in person. So tell us just a little of your background and what you do at Close to My Heart.
Sure. It's kind of a long story, but I'm going to keep it Cliff Notes version. So I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I transferred from UT Austin to Brigham Young University. And I needed a job as, just to make a little extra money because I was a poor student. And I met Jeanette Linton, the owner and founder of Close to My Heart. And at the time, the company was called Dots, Dozens of Terrific Stamps. And it was an adorable company. Anyway, long story short, I started working for her as a 19-year-old girl answering telephones. That was my first job at Close to My Heart. And there was just something magical about Jeanette. She just had this beautiful personality. And not only that, she was the artist, the sole designer of these gorgeous rubber stamps, decorative stamps. And I just fell in love with her cute little catalog. And I just told her at 19, I cannot believe I said this, when I was meeting her, interviewing with her, I looked at her catalog and I said, I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do, but I know I'm supposed to help you. Never in my wildest dreams did I think 30 years later, I've been with Jeanette and Close to My Heart for 30 years, that I would still be here, not only be here, but running this multi-international company, and it's just been such an incredible journey for me. I went to school for public relations communications. I didn't even finish university because when I was 20 years old, Jeanette offered me the job of office manager. And I had recently gotten married to my husband, Jody, who's from New Zealand. Anyway, long story short, we had 7 children, seven. And Jeanette allowed me to bring every single one of my babies to work. And I don't know, when I brought that first baby to work so that I could bring them and earn money for my family, but also make a difference in thousands of women's lives, it was like, I'm home. This is where I belong. This is my calling in life. And I knew that I wanted a big family. I never imagined that I would be a working mother. But Jeanette allowed that for me and even built an office with a nursery for me so that I can continue to bring all my babies to work. And so every single one of my children were here for at least 6 months while I worked. And it's so amazing because even now, 28 years later, my oldest is almost 28. She allows any woman who works here at Close to My Heart, whether they have an office or not, to be able to bring their children to work when they're first born. And if they don't have an office, we provide a mother's office for them so that they can continue to work if that's what they choose to do. So that doesn't tell you the kind of culture we have here at Close to My Heart. I don't know what does. That's the internal culture here. Yeah. But the external culture, which is our makers, which are our independent consultants, we recently changed their names to makers because we make beautiful things. We're a scrapbooking company, we're a paper crafting company, card making company, and we have thousands and thousands of women across the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and recently opened Japan. So it's been such an incredible journey for me personally. I've grown in ways I never imagined. I've had so many titles and so many roles, but ultimately, about 4.5 years ago, Jeanette made me the president, a little unwillingly on my part, but she also needed to step back a little bit from the business. And I said, I'll do it only if you stay by my side, kind of thing. And so she's been my mentor for the last 30 years. And we're a privately owned company, 100% debt free. And I've seen all the ups and downs of economy and everything you can imagine. COVID was a new experience for sure from a direct sales side of things, but we thrived. We thrived in that time. And it's been so incredible to watch our people just elevate and bring good to the world through what we do.
There's so many parts of that story that I absolutely love. I remember being a young working mom as well. And I was even able to work from home and juggle, a new baby and working. And if anyone's been there before, you know how hard it is. Incredibly challenging. And I don't know if I've ever heard of a company that has been so generous in just inviting the babies into the office. That's a totally different spin on being a working mom and really being able to be there for your employees as they're going through, a huge and exciting part of their life as well, and being part of that journey. And I can only imagine everyone in the office loves having little itty bitty babies around too.
Talk about endorphin rushes, whenever you're having a bad day, I'm like, I'm going to
go hold a baby.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sure.
I love that. Well, Monica, you've been in it. You've seen this industry over ups and downs, like you said, throughout changes in the economy. And I'd love to hear, throw back to those early days when, maybe there was a baby in the office with you. What was it like back then? What did the early days look like at Close to My Heart or in the direct sales industry as a whole?
Well, the early days were like the wild, wild west over here. It was incredible and exhausting and constant. And believe it or not, this sounds so crazy, especially foreign to those who are just getting started in direct sales, that we actually had to put a freeze on signups. We couldn't allow people to sign up with our company as contractors or consultants because we were inundated with so much happening. And this was before the days of the internet. I know, I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. Right. So the days before the internet, and people were mailing in their orders. They would have their home parties, and then everybody would fill out their order forms and then mail them all together with checks. And we would process those back in the day, the early 90s. And it was 6 to 8 weeks before you saw anything from that party. 6 to 8 weeks, which is so crazy. And
probably worth the wait. People were like, sure, like we want our stuff. So yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. We'll be here waiting.
It was so fun. And these cute little rubber stamps. And we actually manufacture our stamps ourselves here in Utah. And so, the company was just growing by leaps and bounds. And we literally had to wait to sign people up for 4 to 6 months sometimes because we couldn't keep up with the demand. So it was pretty wild. And then introducing, technology like, computers and the internet, again, a whole nother change and flip to how we ran business. And now consultants were typing in their own orders, it just changed everything, and automation. And we just kept growing and growing and growing. Jeanette, like many others who start their direct sales business, started as a single mother with 2 young children in the basement of her house, burning rubber stamps herself and going to trade shows and expos and selling them while her kids played under the table. Like that's her real story. Yeah. And now, to see Close to My Heart where it is now, it's just beautiful to see so many lives change because of the decision she made to help support her family. So it's been amazing to watch, but the foundation of the company is the same. We're here to build community and to share our mission. We show people how. We are a teaching company, and that's what we love about what we do. One of our taglines is, let me show you how. Mm-hmm. So we don't just sell people product, we show them how to use it. We create beautiful pages to help people tell their stories. Scrapbooking people are like, oh, is that still around? Oh, it's around in a big, big way. What do you think you're doing on social media? That's pretty much scrapbooking digitally. I mean, really.
Yes.
So we just help people to print their photos and put them down on pages. And there was definitely a resurgence as COVID hit and people were locked down at home. But we've seen so many changes. And what I love about Jeanette and her, the way that she looks at the world is like, we just ride things out. And she has never been in debt as a company, which I think is very unheard of. And if we can't afford it, we don't buy it. And we're self-grown, we self-made, growing on our own. And it shows in what we do, our stability, where companies have come and gone, especially in this specific space and industry, close to my heart, has been steady throughout. So Jeanette's going to be hitting her 38-year anniversary in October. So I've been with her for 30 of those years, but she was doing it, 8 years before me. But anyway, it's been amazing to watch the world change, but feel like, it's like those movie scenes where you see like the one person's like stop still and everybody's like swimming around them. That's what I feel like we're like. We're like the steady thing that people can always count on here at Close to My Heart.
I love that so much. And then really to think about, the last couple of years for many companies have been challenging in all sorts of different ways, needing to pivot and kind of change strategy and really show, your makers how to be successful and thrive in this kind of environment. But when you have the longevity of 38 years, right, it is kind of a little bit of just a blip in history, right? It's all fresh and maybe too fresh for many of us, right? But I'd love to hear just, what that looked like over the last couple of years for your community. I know, like you said, there was this resurgence at home. I need a hobby, or I'm going to pull out that paper that I've had stuffed away in that drawer. I've been meaning to do something with those photos, right? Yeah, I'd love to hear just kind of what those pivots looked like, because sadly, a lot of companies weren't able to make it through the last few years, but you're on the other side of it coming out strong.
Yeah, it was a little scary, just like the whole, unknown of it all. And we've never seen anything like this. And so I was headed to Australia and New Zealand to go see our people there and to do different seminars and things like that, trainings over there. I was leaving on March 11th of 2000. Well, the night before we were supposed to go, Tom Hanks tested positive in Australia and the Utah Jazz shut down their game. And so it was like the domino, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden we were like, I don't think we should go to Australia. Mm-hmm. But I had 600 people who had paid to come to these events and we'd shipped all our product over there already. So I'm like, it was our big catalog unveil. We do these beautiful, gorgeous product catalogs and we love to do it big. We love to showcase everything inside. And like I said, we're the show you how company. We want to teach and show them how to put everything together. And so it really was a whim of a thought. And I just said, you know what? Our people are on Facebook. Why don't we do a private page where the people who already registered, and we'll have them all just join us and we'll just put our iPhones on tripods and let's just show them all the stuff like that on a Facebook Live. I'm not joking. And then I said, let's just open it up to the whole company. If it's virtual, why not have more people join us? Well, this was so new and so foreign to us, but we're like, we've got iPhones. We see people on Facebook Lives all the time. Why can't we do it?
Figure this out.
Sure. I don't have a video team. I don't have a tech team. I do now, but I didn't then. And so before we knew it, when we finally opened the virtual doors, we had almost 2,000 people had signed up.
Oh my goodness.
What went from 600 to like 1,700 people, it was like, I felt like it was the loaves and the fishes. I'm like, we just opened the virtual doors. And that is where everything changed for Close to My Heart. Where people were so hesitant to do videos and putting themselves out there. But because we are a maker company, people love to see. It's like, those unboxings that you see on YouTube with the little kids. You have little kids, you know what I'm talking about.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
are you really watching people open toys? Like,
It's
what
the
is that?
suspense. Like, what are they going to do next? Like, what are they going to do with that product? I feel like that is one of the best types of products to showcase online because people are infatuated with like, what are they going to do with that? Or how do you piece that together? Is this going to even look good in the end? Right? Like there's a little bit of that excitement factor of how is this going to go?
Well, and we've done YouTube before where they were like produced videos and we sped things up and did voiceovers.
Yeah.
But there was something to the Facebook Live where you were interacting with the people live. And so then we were like, okay, we're going to have the teacher and then someone sitting in the audience in the studio and they're reading the questions while you're teaching and talking. And we connected in ways that I don't think we could have even done in person. You got to hear about our lives. We got to share each other's stories, what we were going through, while still scrapbooking and card making and making beautiful things together. We did even COVID albums where we talked about our experiences and it became like therapy. It was therapeutic. And I'm not joking. From that point, that was like March, the end of March when we did that one, to we did National Scrapbooking Day as a virtual live public event on our Facebook page. And we had 25,000 people watching. It was insane and blew up. And really, truly, all we were doing was showing how to use products and talking in real time. And people were craving the connection and like to see our global community come together in a way that they wouldn't in an in-person event. When I go to Australia, I don't have people from the US flying over to Australia. I'm sure they would love to, but not for a 4-hour event. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm so grateful to the team here who stepped up and all of a sudden we became Facebook Live experts and we were doing public events and private events and trainings. And we were basically doing events every single week and sometimes teaching for 4 hours at a time. And you're like, how do these people stay on watching? And they do. And they then buy what they see because they love it. And so we're like, okay, makers, it's time for you to do this too. And so we started training them on how to do it and what's the best tripod to have, what kind of lighting do you need, what kind of sound, and it's really not that complicated. And all of a sudden, my top seller who told me 2 years previously, I think I'm going to start retiring. I'm going to pull back. I've been doing this a long time. She was blowing her numbers out of the water and hadn't met in person with one person because she was doing everything virtually. So for our product and our messaging and our mission, the virtual component was something we had no idea the potential until it happened. And it's been phenomenal and crazy. And now we have a studio and now we have real cameras and real microphones. And it's just been an incredible journey and a way to connect. But we're ready to meet with people in person too. And so we're going to be doing the hybrid option where people who want to and can come together will still come and we'll be doing virtual. And so I just feel like we've up-leveled as a company and the way we connect and teach and grow the community. It really is all about the community. It's so amazing. And we have incredible longevity. When you look at the statistics of direct sales, you always hear the 1/3 coming, 1/3 staying, 1/3 going. That is not close to my heart. When people come, they stay and they stay for a very long time. We're celebrating 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, 15 years. That's both internal and external. So it's a pretty strong, life-changing community.
Yeah. Well, and I love that now your makers just have in their toolbox the ability to do virtual. And before, for probably many of them, that was not on their radar. That's not something that they were excited about or interested in or wanted to figure out the camera or the tripod. All of that felt probably very overwhelming and daunting. But sometimes when you're just thrown in, that you kind of just have to figure it out. And, some things are going to flop. You're going to have some fails along the way. But I think, in the end, it's just giving you some new skills. And like you said, your reach is so much further when you're able to do virtual for those people that don't live locally to you or that live on the other side of the world. And you can really expand that community and create something in a new and a different way. So that's amazing that they're really able to have the flexibility now to choose like, okay, is it a virtual event or is it in person? You know, am I able to get away for the weekend or leave the house, or do I need to stay in and have that flexibility? And it's pretty cool that that's an option now, that, you know, there's different ways to do the same thing and have a great outcome and get really good results for your business too.
Yeah. And I mean, I love in person. I just got back from Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. There is nothing like it. There is a magic, a synergy to be with a like-minded community. It's a party. It's fun. You shed tears, you share hearts. Like there's all of that too. And so I'm grateful that we had this virtual reach and that we were able to grow through that. But in no way, shape, or form am I saying in person, because there's something to in person that can never, ever be replaced.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Right before we clicked record, we were just kind of briefly chatting about that, just with all the virtual conferences happening and how incredible it is that people can still attend and, you know, they're able to multitask and do things at home. But I mean, there's something exciting about going away and letting somebody make your bed for you and feed you and not have the distractions of needing to do laundry or doing dishes, right? So there is that magic of when people actually come together in real life. That's pretty special. And I think there's a lot of people craving that right now too. So many stayed in over the last couple of years. I think people are ready to also get out and connect. So tell us, that brings us now, right? Summer 2022, going into the fall, which fall selling season is always such a big time of year, especially around products that can be gifted. So what are you seeing? What kind of trends? What are you seeing really working for your makers? And any just tips that you would give to our listeners as they're creating that momentum here towards the end of summer going into the fall?
Well, I think consistency is key. I mean, one thing, like I said, close to my heart, it's been pretty consistent over 38 years. And I should say, we changed our name from Dots, Dozens of Terrific Stamps, in 2000 to Close to My Heart when we introduced our scrapbooking line. Jeanette's been a scrapbooker since she was a teenager and wanted to bring it in. And it just kind of took over, you know, and we felt like Dots, Dozens of Terrific Stamps didn't really represent who we are. And so we just love the name Close to My Heart because everything we create is close to my heart. And to be able to gift these beautiful things to people you love and care about. I mean, card making, imagine that through COVID, how beautiful to be able to send a handmade, homemade card. But as far as trends and what we're seeing now, we actually are getting ready to release our annual catalog in 2 days. 2 days time. Yay. So from the time we record this podcast. So it's a huge thing. I've got thousands of people signed up, like really banging on the virtual doors going, let me in, let me see it. So I think, you know, we garner excitement. We love to release new products. It's a lot of work, but new sells every time. It helps our makers. This is the hobby industry. We don't pretend to say like, oh, this is going to be some great MLM. You're going to be able to pay off your mortgage and cars. And like, it is a business. You can make money. We have plenty of people making six figures, but the majority of our people are hobbyists. So it's all about the product and sharing and showing and teaching. And so for us, doing this annual catalog that has our staple products in it, but the real magic for us is we put a catalog out every 3 months with new products. And then we do monthly specials. And so we can stay on top of the trends, color trends, and, you know, stylized trends. We just released a kit not too long ago called Fresh Paint, and it had like, you know, like a summer vibe and like think Skechers and like urban feel. And then we have one that's called Hope and Kindness that has magnolia flowers and, you know, distressed wood looking things. And so we give you a variety of things to choose from: feminine, masculine, neutral, all the things. And it's just beautiful to see them change over time. And we try to stay on top of it. I have an incredible design team. That's, you know, we've got a lot of people here designing and always putting out new things. And that's what I think keeps the excitement level there, not only for our makers, but customers too. We have an incredible VIP program that, I mean, it just blew up. The second we opened it, we got 10,000 people within the first 2 months of it signing up for the VIP program. I think we're almost up to 15,000 now. And it's a reward program. You spend, we give you credit. You spend, you get. So it's a great relationship, partnership, and we always have new coming out. So as far as trends go, we just stay on top of what's happening, and that's what we design and that's what we put out. And then there's a limited time that they live. So there's that urgency for people to like buy it. And we have been known to sell out. We did like a rustic kind of bee, like honeybees and all kinds of bees kit. We had a card kit with bees on it. It sold out 4 times. We couldn't keep it in fast enough. And so sometimes you just don't even know what the trend's going to be, but it's amazing to see. And we've been very fortunate that about, I would say like 85% of our products are made here in Utah. And so we have a lot more control. So a lot of people have had supply chain issues and those kinds of issues. We've had them too. Believe me, we do make products in Asia and other markets, but our main core, like our stamps, our clear stamps, are all made and produced here, right here in this building. So that is also comforting to all of our people, knowing that we're not going to run out of those types of things. The main things, paper and stamps, we'll always have those.
I love that. Well, and it's taken me back because fun fact for our listeners that don't know this, but my very first business was a scrapbooking business.
Well, there you go.
I had embellished creative designs and I put together kits and made scrapbooks for people. And so all the art and creativity is, you're speaking to my heart now because I have always had so much fun with product and it's all changed so much. I mean, I think I got like my first scrapbook when I was like 14 or 15. And I think back to like how basic everything was, like the cardstock was just solid colors and maybe you could get a really cool one that had like seashells on it.
Right.
And now it's just like evolved and grown. It's incredible to see what those that are really in this industry can create and like you said, can show other people how to create, which I think is really a big piece of it is there's an education component and you're teaching and people are learning from you and you're showing them how to use the product and really showing up and providing that value to their audience, which I'm sure keeps them just coming back. Yeah.
And our mission is our guiding star. Like it is the thing that we are so focused on. We show you how to celebrate relationships through the art of scrapbooking and stamping and paper crafting. And so that's what we do here at Close to My Heart. And I think that's why people stay and they love it. And just, so exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. And what I love too is that we understand that there's a new market of people who don't want craft rooms and don't want all the supplies. So we can cater to that too. If you just want to do pocket scrapbooking and slip photos in, we've got that product. If you just want to punch out some stickers and punch out some die cuts and lay them on a page, you can do that. But if you want to make creations, we've got that too.
If you need to have the craft room with all the drawers, like we've all seen that. I think it's like an Instagram ad of like the craft cupboard that opens up with the drawers and it's like all of a sudden you do.
I do.
Your room is transformed into this amazing creative space.
Yeah. And so it's so fun. And as the president, I don't have to do this, but I honestly love it. And I would have said, I'm not a crafter. I'm not artistic. I'm not creative, but I have a passion for what we do. I have a passion for the people. They're my why. They're the reason I've mothered 7 children, been a wife for 29 years, and still do this job too. And the thing that I love to do, even as the president of this company, is teach. I jumped into the Facebook Live world and now I go and I teach and I share and I show. And it's just wonderful and it's beautiful. And it's so fun to do and to connect with people. And sometimes I mess up live and then they'll say, "Oh, Monica, you forgot to add this embellishment or whatever." And I'm like, "You guys have my back. You've got me. Right. Like, I'm not going to miss a beat." And so we help each other. It's so wonderful.
That is incredible. Well, Monica, thank you so much for sharing your story and a little bit of history around the company and how far it's come. Congratulations on all of your success and continued success. For our listeners that want to learn more about Close to My Heart, where can they find you?
They can find us at closetomyheart.com. You can see all of our beautiful things there and lots of our specials and how to find a maker and local to you. But we're also on Facebook, just Close to My Heart Facebook page. And then we are on Instagram at CTMH Official is our Instagram. And it's just beautiful art. You can see by looking at our social media pages, especially, that we are an art-based business that creates this amazing community of people. And so that's who we are. That's what Close to My Heart is all about.
Thank you so much. We will make sure to link all of that in our show notes so everyone can easily click and learn more. So thank you again for taking time out of your super busy schedule to be here. I so appreciate you. And I look forward to connecting again soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
This episode of the Modern Direct Seller podcast is sponsored by our sister company, Direct Flow. Direct Flow provides the #1 training platform for direct sales companies. It comes preloaded with the Modern Direct Seller curriculum. Learn more about how we can support your direct sales company at directflow.com. That's DIRECTFLO.com. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Modern Direct Seller podcast. For more sales tips, strategy, and systems for your direct sales business, visit your one-stop shop, moderndirectseller.com. Until next time, get out there and go rock your biz.